amazing. His love is never ending. Beyond imagination. He's worth our celebration. He deserves the loudest noise. I don't know about you, but I came here today to celebrate God in every song we sing and every game we play. We celebrate God, always amazing. His love will never end. So everybody in this place, celebrate God.
Oh, hello. Do you remember Claire and Tim and their family were building towers last week? That's inspired me. I want to build something as well. Can you remember why the people of Babel were building towers? It's because they wanted to be closer to God and be more like God. They thought by getting to heaven like that, it would help them to be safe, happy and famous. But we learnt that the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus.
Hi Andy.
Hello.
What's all this stuff?
Well, I've been inspired by SpaceX.
Oh yes.
And I'm going to build a rocket.
A rocket.
Mm.
Okay. With all this stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I'll leave you with this master plan. I don't think it's possible, but I'll leave you to it. And while you're having a go at building your rocket, I'll go and read the story.
Excellent.
Today's story is A Son of Laughter. Oh, Andy, you're making too much noise. Quiet, I'm reading the story. Today's story, A Son of Laughter. Years passed and things didn't get any better. People were still as cruel and mean to one another. They still got sick and died. God's world was still full of tears. It was never meant to be like this. But God was getting ready to do something about it. He was going to make all the wrong things right, and he was going to do it through a family. Abraham, God said, how many stars are there? God was about to tell his friend a wonderful secret. Let me see, Abraham said, rolling up his sleeves. But have you ever tried counting stars? Then you know how hard it is. 993, 994, 997. Oh, no, wait. 1, 2. Of course, he kept losing count. Too many, he said. Guess what? God laughed. I will give you many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. You won't be able to count them either. Abraham couldn't help giggling at such a wonderful idea, but he stopped himself. How could he have a family? Don't be silly. He didn't have any children, let alone grandchildren. He wiped away a tear. Anyway, it was far too late for him to start having babies at his age. He was 99 years old. What could God mean? Abraham, God said, believe me. And then God told Abraham his big secret rescue plan. Abraham, I will make your family very big, God promised, until one day your family will come to number more than even all the stars in the sky. Abraham looked up at the dark night sky, thick with stars. You will be my special family, my people, and through you, everyone on earth will be blessed. It was an incredible promise. God was going to rescue the world through Abraham's family. One of his great-great-great-grandchildren would be the child, the promised one, the rescuer. But it's too wonderful, Abraham said. How can it be true? Is anything too good to be true? God asked. Is anything too wonderful for me? So Abraham trusted what God said more than what he could see with his eyes. And he believed. Now, when Abraham's wife Sarah heard God's promise, she just laughed to herself. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It had tears in it. She'd always wanted a baby. How could her dream come true? Could she really have a baby when she was 90 years old? No, of course not. Don't be silly. It was far too late. Sarah didn't believe God could do what he promised. She had forgotten that when God says something, it's as good as done. Of course, it was as easy for God to give her a baby son as it was for him to make all the stars in the sky. Sure enough, 9 months later, just as God had promised, Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Isaac, which means son of laughter. And Sarah laughed, but this time it was a glorious, happy laugh. Her dream had come true. God would do as he promised. He would always look after Abraham's family, his special people. And one day, God would send another baby, a baby promised to a girl who didn't even have a husband. But this baby would bring laughter to the whole world. This baby would be everyone's dream come true. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Still haven't quite figured out how to make your rocket yet. I didn't think it would be possible.
Well, I've not got very far because I was listening to the story, but I've made the nose code.
Excellent. Well, in today's story, we met 2 new characters, Abraham and Sarah, and they didn't think a promise that God made to them would be possible either.
But as we all know, it's very easy to make promises, but it's also very easy to break them. We promise things all of the time.
Where is he? He promised that he was going to be here.
There you are.
Oh, where have you been? I thought you were going to meet me.
I thought you had promised you were going to meet me at the pedestrian entrance.
Can you think of a time that you promised someone something, or someone made you a promise and couldn't keep it?
I wonder how it made you feel. Sometimes it can make us feel sad or angry when a promise isn't kept. But with God, it's different. God's promises are always different.
That's right. Even when Abraham and Sarah thought God had promised something that was impossible, we saw that God keeps his promises.
And last week, can you remember we had a new song that Claire and Tim introduced to us about nothing is impossible for God? Let's sing that again.
God, you're powerful and right. You protect me day and night. You are loving, you are kind. Oh, God, you're always in control. You know everywhere I go. You are good and you are wise. Oh, there is nothing that you can't do. You can do anything. There is nothing too hard for you. You can do anything. Hey-oh, hey-oh. With you, nothing's impossible. You can do anything. Hey-oh, hey-oh. With you, nothing's impossible. You can do anything. God, you're powerful and right. You protect me day and night. You are loving, you are kind. Oh, God, you're always in control. You know everywhere I go. You are good and you are wise. Oh, there is nothing that you can't do. You can do anything. There is nothing too hard for you. You can do anything. Hey-oh, hey-oh. With you, nothing's impossible. You can do anything.
So, let's see if we can remember the story from today. There were 3 promises made. I wonder if you can remember any of them.
Well, first is that they would have as many descendants as there are stars in the sky.
Wow. The second promise was that Abraham would be blessed and have a great name.
And the third promise is that all the peoples on earth would be blessed through Abraham's family, and a great rescuer would come out of this family.
But Sarah and Abraham didn't believe that that promise was possible because they didn't have any children. Can you remember how old Abraham and Sarah were?
And because they were so old, they didn't believe they could have children. And no children means no grandchildren, no great-grandchildren, no great-great-grandchildren.
But God did keep his promise and they did have a baby. Can you remember his name? Yes, that's right. He was called Isaac. And can you remember what it means? It means son of laughter. And from Isaac, there did come a big family, as numerous as the stars in the sky. And can you guess which other baby was born out of that family many years later?
That's right, Jesus. Jesus is the promised rescuer. So we can see that God's promises always come true, even if they take a really, really, really long time.
And when God makes promises which we think are impossible, we have to trust him. Because, not like you and me, he won't let us down.
And that's really great. You know what? That gives me an idea for a memory verse. In Luke chapter 1 verse 37, it says, "For nothing is impossible with God." Can you say it with me?
For nothing is impossible with God. Luke chapter 1 verse 37.
Now, I've got an idea for my rocket.
Ooh.
Building a space rocket on my own probably is a bit impossible. But if I make a bottle rocket,
Bottle rocket?
I'll still make a rocket, and I've got all the stuff that I need right here.
Excellent. And perhaps you could write the memory verse on it too, Andy.
Brilliant. Let's see how to make it. First thing we need, a pop bottle. Then we also need a piece of cardboard. This is from a pizza box. You could use cereal box. And I've covered this one in some paper as well. Then here we go. There's 2 toilet roll inners, and these are covered in some coloured paper too. And then to help decorate it and stick it all together, I've got some sellotape. Ooh, need a pair of compasses as well to help, and some scissors. So there's some things here that you might need a grown-up's help with. And you're also going to need some bits and pieces, up to you how you decorate it. So let's have a look at making it.
God, you're powerful and right. You protect me day and night. You are loving, you are kind. Oh, God, you're always in control. You know everywhere I go. You are good and you are wise. Oh, there is nothing that you can't do. You can do anything. There is nothing.
We sent you some seeds a few weeks ago. Hope they're doing well. My sunflower's a little bit small, but the runner bean's doing really well. We've had some photos of all the things that you've been doing out of Myton Kids, so let's have a look at some now.
Can do anything. There is nothing too hard for you. You can do anything. Hey-oh, hey-oh. With you, nothing's impossible. You can do anything. Hey-oh, hey-oh. With you, nothing's impossible. You can do anything. God, you're
today we've been learning that nothing is impossible with God. God promised Abraham that he would be the father of a great nation, and that he made that possible through the birth of the baby Isaac. And we can be part of that family by putting our trust in God.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Let's talk to God in prayer. Dear God, thank you that with you all things are possible, and that you have given us a way to be friends with you. Sorry for times that we have made promises to our friends and family which we haven't kept. Help us to say sorry to others when we upset them. Help us to say sorry to you, God, when we have broken our promise to love you. Thank you that you forgive us. Help us to live our lives for you. Amen.
Amen.
Right, we're off to launch our bottle rocket now. If you make one, remember to add the memory verse on and send photos of your rocket as well.
Excellent. Great to see you guys. Bye.
Bye.